Welcome to Rev J Rides. Hey, I would like to ask you right off the bat here to just go ahead and hit like, share, and subscribe. Those things will help this channel grow. That's the goal. We want this channel to grow so that we can share the message that we have to share, okay? Help us with that. Anyways, today I want to talk about what we call wind therapy. That may be a relatively new term for those of you who don't ride motorcycles, but for those of us who do ride motorcycles, we know that wind therapy is a pretty cool thing. Some people call it throttle therapy. I kind of see those as two different things in a way, although I get a little throttle therapy too, okay? We'll get into that in a minute, but I did take some rides recently. One of them I took on a really good road here in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. This is the Natchez Trace Parkway, one of the most famous roads to ride in all of the United States, actually. It's a beautiful road, got a lot of great scenery, just great pavement, no potholes, just smooth ride, nice, gentle, sweeping curves. The speed limit is a little low for me. Most of the time it's about 50 miles an hour, I believe. But that's okay. If you want to take a nice scenic ride and see nature, that's a good thing to do. Now, you might wonder, why does a pastor need wind therapy or any kind of therapy for that matter? Well, some people go golfing. Some pastors do. Some pastors fish. Some pastors hunt. There's pastors that do a lot of things to have some me time, and we all, no matter who we are, need some me time. But those times when I'm out riding, and we call that wind therapy, those times are the times that I'm really kind of communing with God one-on-one. It's a beautiful time for me. You might say I get in touch with nature or get in touch with the Lord, and I do a lot of praying while I'm on these rides. And yes, I pray with my eyes open, okay, while I'm riding. But that's what is good for me. I need that time out there with me and God alone in His nature, in His creation. It's a great time. So to me, the difference in, say, throttle therapy and wind therapy is when I'm getting wind therapy, I'm on a road like Natchez Trace. This is a place where I can see nature and just look at the beauty of God's creation. I feel close to God when I'm doing this. The Bible tells us that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And you can see God's design in nature. There are times when I ride other roads and I'm more interested in throttle therapy. But when I'm on a road like Natchez Trace, I really like to look at the design of nature and see what God did. It's amazing. When I ride my motorcycle, my Harley Davidson Ultra Limited, I know that it has a design. Somebody designed that. It's not by accident. It didn't happen by accident. It has a design. And that shows us that there is a designer. That's the same with nature. We can see very clearly that there was a design, a beautiful design, one which has been designed by somebody pretty incredible, and He deserves our worship. So I'm out there on Natchez Trace on this beautiful road that I'm talking about, and man, I am just enjoying it. You see, even in a time like this, you see a lot of colors. Look at that purple in those trees. You don't see stuff like that just anywhere. It's just a beautiful time, and it does help me to get closer to the Lord. Something that I really need, and maybe you need. Another thing that I like about Natchez Trace is the history of it. Natchez Trace was a place, was a trail, if you will, back early on when the settlers came to the United States of America. They found this trail that was used by the Indians, probably before the Indians, the buffalo or other animals used it. And so they would use this trail to come up from down south in the Natchez, Mississippi area up towards the Nashville area. Of course, those cities didn't exist at that time, but the history of it means a lot. And I like history. I don't know about you, but I do. I like history. There's a story in the Bible about two brothers, two twin brothers, Jacob and Esau. Esau despised his birthright and sold his birthright, his inheritance. In a sense, what he's doing is he's despising his history. He's turning his back on his family history. His father and his grandfather had been through a lot, and God had brought them through a lot. And when they looked back on their history, they could see how God had moved in their lives. But he didn't care. He was quick to sell his birthright, his inheritance. He didn't care about his history. He didn't care to learn or know or have those times of thinking back about all the things God has done in his life. You know, I'm afraid that in this day and time, people are forgetting history, partly because they don't want to know how God has worked through our time. I really like to look at history more like his story. My history and this world's history, this nation's history, is all wrapped up in how God worked within our story. One great place to stop along Natchez Trace is the Meriwether Lewis Park. There, he died. This is Meriwether Lewis, who went all across the nation trying to explore and map out the new world and everything. He's an amazing guy. He died there on the spot. It's buried there on the spot. And the house, or a replica of the house where he died, is still standing there. And so it's a neat place to see and look back over our history. And once again, I think history is important for a variety of reasons. There is his grave, the marker for his grave. There's the house. Apparently a woman that lived there. So I really do enjoy my wind therapy. Now there are different roads. Natchez Trace is awesome. It's kind of laid back, and that's great. There are other roads here in Tennessee even, such as the Tail of the Dragon, that's more of a throttle therapy kind of a thing. I like both. And I'm sure many of you watching like both. But we all need some time to commune with the Lord and some time to think back over how God has worked in our lives as well. Looking at his design, looking at what he's done in our lives, those are important things. Hey, I hope you'll come back and join us next time. I do believe my cameras will work so we can take video for the next ride, okay? God bless. Have a great day. Again, thanks for joining us. We do hope you hit like, share, and subscribe.